Hey fam, what's going on? This is Jessica Pickens. Welcome to Pickens Realities, our blended family truths podcast.
Your lack of parents yourself, you not having your parents how you did, subconsciously drew you to wanting to save other people, inevitably creating a cycle that you just came from that you didn't want?
Well, I lived in a world that was so totally different than the world when I was growing up. So totally different than the world that I lived as a parent.
Mm.
And I learned so much about a system that was very much, my uncle was, and my father went and drove him to meetings, and Uncle Jim would get my father jobs, and it's like almost an unbelievable story. And when I found out about all that, I had to do something about it, and you all suffered because of it. And I admit, the world was a messed up place, and I wanted to change it.
I think if I can jump in, and I think because if we think about where we are now with the world and how we're really in the same place.
We are.
Right? And so I think, the lesson that we need to learn and make right is you have to take care of your home first.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot step over your home to go save somebody else while your home is hurting. And a lot of times we do that because we don't want to look at ourselves. We don't want to do the work that we need to do to make home right. And so if I was to share anything, I would share as parents, single parents, two family parents, make sure you're doing your personal work and then not stepping over your hurting family to go save the world. Yes, injustice is there, but we have to stop the cycle. We have to stop it, because if we don't, what we had was bad, but it's in a whole nother trajectory right now. There's so much that's accessible. There's so many things that are going on. People self-medicating, all the stuff that's happening. And so we have to get home right and then help take care of community.
Nice. So Nana, what's one thing you wish you could have done differently raising your children?
It's not just one thing. It's a multitude of things. I wasn't there. I love my children deeply, and I never intended or meant to hurt and cause the pain that I did. Because my parents were so much older when I was born, and this is a whole different world. It really was, and the world I came into was a world I wanted to change it. I still do, and that still is my issues. I do not like what I see, and so, but I did not. I can't go back and change it. And it hurts my heart to no end that my baby suffered because of it. But then I also see the women that they are, the powerful women they are, the women of knowledge and I don't know.
It's good, Mom. It's working together for good.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It's working together.
And then we lost Robert. That was the other thing that really, yeah. So, but we pulled together, and I've often said that if Jessica was the first one, there would not be a Teresa or Laura, right?
No, not one, no other. There wouldn't have been no other.
Don't hate.
I love
celebrate.
you. I love you, middle. I love you, middle. I love you, middle.
The middle gotta hold it down, bro.
Oh,
What?
Jesus.
Nana.
What?
Nah, the middle is cray-cray. That's my personal humble opinion. The middle is cray-cray. That's my humble opinion. But
Hey,
I'm the middle child. I'm not
the
crazy.
middle be popping. What's up?
Yeah.
Right. I told y'all. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
Okay, so
She said to me when we were, this was just a few years ago, we was in Florida and we was talking to Mom because you had gotten upset about something and you was just having a Bobbi moment. And we went in the room and we like, look, yo, man, like, come on now, you the mama. Like, you gonna have to rein it in. And how somehow we wound into a mother-daughter conversation trying to dig through issues. And she square looked at me and was like, well, you do know you were not exactly easy to parent. And I was like,
hey, come on now.
understatement. Okay, but I'm sorry, but does that give you a get out of jail free card?
No,
it does not.
No,
you know,
no,
It doesn't.
no.
it's like, yo, what you want me to do about it? You and Oscar made me. I had nothing to do with the G's I landed with.
Nana said she gave y'all an option. Y'all refused. Okay.
What you say? Should have took that out, baby.
Oh my
Could have
goodness.
landed someplace else
Oh my
and not
goodness.
wore me out. Okay,
My
man.
Lord.
Yeah, but also they said when you were very sick as a baby and nobody ever thought you'd live. They had never seen anything like it before, and she was in the
You should have
hospital
been
for 3
scared
months.
then.
Well,
She survived this.
and I still
For real,
It was a
Joe.
testament.
It was. It was.
Hey.
That was her origin story. So now our last two, we're gonna end on a lighter note. You have my beautiful baby cousin Larry, and he's adopted, guys. He's a great addition to this family. You can tell that he was adopted because we do this. We true to this, not new to this. But then Mom has all 5 of my little bald-headed siblings. So what are you choosing to do different with your children? How did your upbringing alter your decisions on parenting?
Ooh, I think realizing that you have to change, like you have to grow with the child, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for us, Larry is a gift, and sometimes I literally have to remind myself because he looks like he came from us.
Mm-hmm.
I have to when stuff starts happening, I'm like, why? And I'm like, it's the DNA.
Right.
The 0 to 3, because we got him at 3. And so there's that whole, like, when we were in a counseling session and she was the one that was able to connect with your cousin, she said the 0 to 3 is when a child identifies love, what love is, self-love, all of that. And so we didn't have him for any of that. And even though he's been with us for 14 years, it's still the 0 to 3 that oftentimes impacts a lot of the challenges that he's having right now is because of that dynamic of that self-love and him finding his biological siblings. That all helped out. But realizing parenting is fluid and admitting when you're wrong. Like if you're too harsh, and adjusting, your Uncle Walt and I do a lot of talking, even now in this phase that he's in the military, 17, getting ready to be 18. And he's living an adult life with a 17-year-old brain. And it's just like, Lord have mercy. But I have such peace because we know he's where he's supposed to be. And God just reassures my heart, he's going to be okay. And so I have to rest in that. Even when there's been a couple times we were going to roll up on that little boy and it was nothing but the military that prevented it from happening because they wouldn't let us on base. But trust, we tried everything that we could. So I would say realizing, the statement, well, I'm the mama and that's what I told you to do and you better do what I tell you to do. I'm going to give you something to cry about. All of those dynamics, realizing that doesn't always work, and so being fluid and apologizing when you need to apologize. And also one of the key things that I still say this to Larry, you're a part of this family and you have to contribute to how, when there's peace or when there's chaos, and you have to own up, what are you contributing to what's going on in this household? Mm-hmm. And so sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't, but I would say fluidity. Yeah, fluidity.
What about you?
Can you repeat the question?
What has influenced your decisions on how you parent, based on your upbringing?
Well, initially I swung the pendulum. Well, when we became a blended family, like with my firstborn, with Jayla, I just was still I was in survival mode and found myself in a place that I swore I would never be as a single parent. And of course, when you just have one, that's totally different than I went from 1 to 4 within a matter of weeks, literally, and then 6 and then 7, 8, when we took in the 2 extra young ladies I was mentoring through church.
8.5.
Yeah, because Lucas was yes, absolutely.
He in family pictures, y'all.
But I think when it was just Jayla and I was not stern enough because I just was still really at that point pretty devastated because I felt like, again, it was mistaken identity, right? I talked about that in a video. I couldn't figure out still what was wrong with me. My dad left, couldn't get that to work right. Other relationships didn't work right. And then I swore, number one, first of all, like I had a saying in high school, I ain't having no kids till I can afford the nanny to be able to help take care of them, right? And I was voted most likely to succeed. And then you look up and I'm a single mom.
So do you feel like...
Because I tried to make it work and it didn't with his dad. And so initially with him, it was more love and trying to have a good relationship. But then when we became a blended family and structure kicked in, and then particularly actually honestly with you, because now I also have a girl. And when all I saw was I didn't want you doing or turning into the things that I did and turned into from a perspective of not having appropriate parental structure and boundaries. And so it went skirt left, lock it down. Right? And so, and then because we've never sat down and unpacked all of this we've like Teresa's been in counseling, I've been in counseling, she and I have done counseling together, and we've talked with mom individually, but we've never like sat down all 3 of us on a regular to like unpack the history of what had happened. Was like when I went through my intense counseling, and one of my assignments was to talk to my mom, because that's when I couldn't even really, I was living in her basement and I didn't want to be in the same room with her. Because of the hurt that had, as I'm trying to sort through and figure out my issues, the emotions that came up from that. And so when I was, I guess I unintentionally repeated from a perspective, repeated as far as I didn't know to sit down and seek out. I didn't do a game plan first because I hadn't been taught that. I didn't know to do that. And that's why that's one of the things now, one of the reasons why, quite frankly, I've pivoted as God has placed on my heart. No, you need to get out here in these streets and you need to go on and walk in the ministry you've been called to do, which is assisting, working with, telling your story and helping blended families through blended family coaching. Because somebody's got to start talking about the fact that you can make a game plan. You can sit down and assess, what did you go through? What what was your family like? How were you raised? What's going on in your home? So that you can then assess and then talk what particularly with blended families. What had Jayla been through? He never grieved, properly the fact that Charlie and I didn't make it. What had y'all gone through? Y'all didn't get to grieve the fact that your parents were divorced. And what did that mean? And then you throw everybody in one pot, in one place. Nobody's talked about, oh, by the way, yeah, my mom, because it was all good intention, right? But my mom didn't have proper balance because she was out trying to save the world. And what's one of the things that Jayla will be quick to say it now? You were never home.
Yeah.
You were always at work.
You were always in your room when you came home.
Yeah. And then when you came home, you were in your room.
I learned a phrase called living room family and bedroom family. Bedroom family, a lot of millennials and like the older portion of Gen Z like me have experienced a bedroom family. And that comes when you would rather play in your bedroom and be in your bedroom because you feel most safe there. A lot of Gen Zs now are always like, why are my kids so attached to me? If I'm in the living room watch TV, they always want to be out here. But that's because they feel loved. They feel safe. So they always want to be in the living room, out in the open, instead of secluded and closed. And so it's a mind-boggling concept to understand.
Well, and here's the thing, though. Even when Jalen says that, like, I didn't go in the room and camp out, come home from work, go to the room, camp out, never leave. I cooked. We ran a whole household, but what he remembers, and it's because of what he went through, and he felt abandoned in the middle of a family of 6 kids. So his perception and what he noticed, and again, that's because I missed it on that whole bio one-on-one time. I just missed it, completely missed it, right? And so, but trying to wrap up and anchor to answer the question, I'm literally so it's crazy, y'all. This is why you got to sit down and talk about this, because here it is. I'm 51. And in the middle of a podcast about blended families, we connect the dot that part of the root of the issue of us having imbalance in work life really is we grew up that way. We saw it. We were in a house where that's what was going on with our mom. So generational stuff is real. Whether you realize it, name it, call it, and whether you're doing it intentionally or not. And so I would say that now, because of understanding the importance of taking the time to talk through, assess, dig, unpack.
Come on.
Yeah.
Unpack.
Yeah.
Get and we had 6 sets of luggage. And each one of them had the big one, the middle, the small, the carry-on, the shoulder bag, the backpack, the whole 9.
Oh my God.
Right? And you got to unpack, it wasn't, my mom had unpacking everything from why she did what she did and understanding she didn't mean to do it. And again, I understand there are people out there where there are sometimes some people just may not be built to be parents, and they do stuff knowingly and they do really bad stuff knowingly. And I don't have an answer for that. So I'm not speaking to that type of stuff. I'm not saying, right. I'm not saying that this, people be people, right, to every situation. Right. But when for us, there was no harm intended on my mom's behalf. And as you said earlier, and I'll never forget, because Dad Walton, when I was going through counseling with him, that one phrase he said to me is the reason why I could begin to be around my mom again. Because I was going through, I had like 2 counselors. I had the straight up, like the legal professional psychiatrist, Black female Christian psychiatrist, who was the bomb. And then I had my spiritual. And he said to me, Jessica, if your mother had known back then that what she was doing was going to cause you the pain that you're having now, she would have never made those decisions.
Absolutely.
And that hit me because if you can understand somebody's intent, doesn't change their actions,
Right.
doesn't change or make better what they did, doesn't take it away, but it absolutely brings a bit of peace to your soul to go, okay, this wasn't intentional.
Because she's doing the best with what she
Right.
has.
Now that's different than somebody standing there pointing a gun at you and firing two towards your chest. Right. And so we're 16 minutes. I got y'all. It's okay. I'm watching it on my phone.
Yeah.
We're 16 minutes left. So the reality is that being able to take the time to assess intent
Yes.
and allow that to bring a level of forgiveness and peace so that forgiveness, God bless you. So then choosing to allow forgiveness and peace to usher you into a season of release.
Come on. That's good. That is so good.
You got to let people go,
Come
man.
on. Come on.
You got to let people go. And up until, I promise y'all, last week I released my mom.
What made you do that?
Because I don't like having aught towards my mother. I don't like her getting on my nerves when I realize that who she is who she is. But you know what triggers me is because the things that y'all point out to me that y'all say y'all don't like about me, I got from my mom.
Y'all are the same person.
And so I go, well, if you wasn't this way, then I wouldn't be this way, and my husband and kids wouldn't be talking about me.
Well, it's DNA. It's
You
not
know,
your fault.
I know that. But again, also when you know, on my job, you know, professionally, I've had a great mentor and whatnot. But I also was told I talk too much. I was too dramatic. I'm too loud. I'm intimidating.
Well, she hates you because she hates you.
And we don't need to do.
Well, I'm just
And
boosting
so
you up, mother.
you can't. I have to be okay going. And I have to make a choice, right? I have to make a choice because everybody's got choices.
Yes.
I'm either going to choose to say, this my mama. She is who she is. We have real conversations. And I go, look, look, lady, now you got a choice here. You're going to have to choose this or choose that, right? So, but I have a choice. I can love and accept my mom for who she is. My mom ain't never going to not be dramatic. It's who she is, man.
She is
See, here we go. All
theatrical.
Day. Right? And so
Yeah.
Yes.
Theater. Hello.
I know, yeah.
And so even though that part that I inherited from her, I don't appreciate quite often, because y'all be telling me, oh, you doing too, you know. So again, when you think and you assess what's going on with me and where did that come from? And if it's in your DNA, like I like cars the way I like cars. I don't need no man's car. I'm gonna have my car the way I want my car. And people always think I'm, they always think I'm driving a man's car. No, this is my car. And it's this way because I want it this way. Well, that's because of who my dad was.
Yeah.
It's in me, right? That's just who I am. But I can choose to accept my mom and say, oh, yep, she not perfect. And woo, she get on my nerve from this and that, but that's my mom. Or I can go, you know what? I'm going to get with you later. I'm going to love you from afar. No, I'm not going to do that. It's my mom. Because you know what? I don't want my kids doing that to me.
Come on. Amen.
I want people to love me do I want to have conversations? Have I decided to do something different? Did I sit you and Gabby down, take y'all lunch and say, hey, I need to hear from y'all. What do you need from me so that we can continue to grow and be in better relationship? Am I realizing that my kids are not minors anymore? They're not 5. They're not 10. You all are adults. Everybody is legally adult in different phases of it. And I don't get the right to keep you in you're acting like your 5 box. No, I have to assess and appreciate the fact that y'all are growing. And as your dad said previously, and you even just said it, you got to
You grow
choose.
with them or
You
they grow
either
without you.
they grow, either you grow with them or they're gonna grow without you. I don't want y'all growing without me.
That's it.
And to that point, and me and my mom still talk about, I want us to continue to grow in relationship. And so we've had conversations within the last couple months, Mom. Like, look, there's only so, like, it takes two people, right? Two people have to participate willingly and put in effort for relationships to grow and to be healthy and be maintained.
Awesome. So last one, it's a little exercise. It's a little fun. I'm gonna invite myself to join. So I'm gonna let you go first, and I want you guys to, in one word, describe your mother and tell us why you feel that word describes your mother. One word.
Ooh, Jesus.
That's
Oh, wow.
what's coming to me is powerful. And I know that might be kind of perplexing, but powerful because she was strong enough to love the person she wanted to love. She was strong enough to raise 3 biracial children in a world that wasn't receiving us in a great way. She was strong enough to do the community work that she did. And I would say even now has been strong enough that when we've had the heart-to-heart conversations, and even when I've had to call her and have had to kind of check her as her pastor as well as her daughter. So it's this dynamic that I have, that her and I have. She doesn't tell me, she doesn't put me in my place like you're my child and you don't have a right to say that to me. She will hear my heart as her oldest, child, as well as her pastor. And so that's the word that comes to mind. And then I see that in myself, and I'm grateful for that. And I think the challenge becomes that I don't let that drive me, but you have the balance in what we were talking about before, because it will drive you because you want to save the world. You don't want people to experience what you've experienced, but that can't be the drive. And I read a book called Just Because You Can Help Doesn't Mean You Have to Help. You have to know that it's God assigned you to do what you're doing. So just because you can do it doesn't mean that you are the one that's supposed to be doing it. And so it causes you to kind of step back. But I'm grateful for the power, who she is as a powerful woman. And I know that the woman I am today is because of my mom.
Awesome. You?
Oh, I didn't know if my mom was going.
No,
Well,
you go. It's your mother.
I mean, are we supposed to say what comes to mind first? Like, are we doing this transparently? Because
whatever.
What you feel, be honest.
No, it's choosing one word is not easy for me because I don't like the word that comes to my mind, because I don't want that to be the word that describes my mom. And I fight against that.
Your reality is
dramatic is the word that comes first.
Okay.
Right? Because we are still, there's still a dynamic that we still press through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that word comes to mind first because I feel like that part of my mom is what has really gotten in the way of us being able to go to a different place relationship-wise.
Okay.
And so it's hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that that's your truth. I'm saying that that's my perception.
Your perception.
Mm-hmm.
But when we are in a disposition, in a place where we live 12 minutes from each other, and I understand that it's a blessing to have my mom alive, that you are a blessing, you are my mom, that you're right down the street. It bothers me greatly that we're not in a place where I can't go 2 days without seeing your face or hearing your voice on the phone. That hurts me. a lot. And I feel like a lot of the reason why is because I get hung up when we talk and everything. Like, it's hard to have a conversation, Mom, without, there being a lot of kind of antics and whatnot in it.
No. What?
I'm sorry, that's not funny, but
what I mean by that is I understand and I accept and love you for who you are. And I understand that it's not my place, and I'm 50. So, it's not, what's done is done, right? As far as, I'm not asking, I'm done trying to ask you to change who you are to fit into a relationship with me. But the honest to God's truth is that I can't handle all of that. I can't handle 3 paragraphs of stuff when 1 sentence will do it, because that stuff has really been an impediment for me, because I turn around and do that. And then I'm being told from my kids to my husband to what used to be, my workplace, that it's too much, this, that, and the other. And so when I'm trying to just get the authentic you without kind of all the extra, and I'm sorry if this sounds bad, it's like it's always a press. And so trying to get to a place where, how do we get to and maintain healthy relationship in the way that I need you, it's clouded being able to get there. I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm trying to say to y'all.
I understand.
And so it literally bothers me. I feel guilty, and it bothers me that I don't have the relationship with you that I want. But I don't have, so now it's the reverse. I don't have the energy to try to keep getting at you to go, Mom, this is what, and it's like, I've tried to tell you multiple times, you know what I mean? Like, Mom, we got to do better, or, I need you to do this. And particularly, where do you think I get it from? Like, I'm trying to get you to do what you got to do to take care of yourself with your physical health and your doctor's appointments. And I'd be like, Mom, come on, you got to call. You got to do this. You be on Facebook, lady. Your fingers work. We all know this, right? It's so, but you get,
I get tired,
you get,
Jessica.
but then you get combative as far as, and so I'm like, I have all of this over here. Mm-hmm. And so I can't. And so anyway, landing the plane, I'm not happy that that's the first word that comes to mind.
And that's okay.
I don't want that to be the first word that comes to mind.
The word that comes to your brain has to be happy, cheerful.
I know. I'm just saying.
So Nana, it's your turn. What are one word to describe your daughters, and why?
For both of them, it's phenomenal.
I'm glad I ain't got no eyelashes on today.
To see from whence we came, from a motel room with food being, having nothing, to see the extraordinary women that they are, is nothing but God. Very little of Bobbi, but much of God. In that two phenomenal women who are incredible.
Well, can I just, I don't want you, Mom, you are a big part of it. It's not because we wouldn't be who we are without you. And that's the one thing I want. We've talked about it before, and I know that it becomes challenging because we are successful, we are powerful, and things from that standpoint. But you're our mother, and we wouldn't be here. You could have chosen not to have us. You could have chosen to put us in DCFS and go on and live your life. Just listen. Just let me just. So I don't want you to feel like you have a part in who we are, because you do. And so that's the point. And
you don't want her to feel like she doesn't have a
right.
part
You
because
that
she does.
because you do, and you still, like what Jessica was saying, that we know we need you. Like, we can't be who we are without even no matter how powerful a woman is, you always want to hear your mother's voice. Like that brings a calmness to a child, no matter how successful the person is, because that bond is there between the child and the mother. And so I don't want you to feel like because you are a part, you have been, and we want you to continue to be. And we want that to be the reason why you do take care of yourself, why you do,
right.
Get back involved into the community, because you still have so much to give.
Beautiful.
You receive that?
I know I do receive
Okay.
it, but I also know that a lot of health stuff going on.
Yeah.
And some days the pain is just like, I'll
Understood.
just sit here. And I also know that it's a depression, and but I've got to fight it.
But that's just it. So I feel like how you used to go and fight for the community, I feel like right now, that's what we should be getting. You should be fighting for relationship with us.
I received that.
And I feel like you used up all your steam and your mojo for everybody else. And then I'm not saying it's the truth.
No, she said she received it. She said she received it, which I think is good.
Yeah,
it's good.
It is. But the other part of it is I don't want to be a bother.
You're not, Mama. You're not.
Well, and that's what I'm.
I know you have to press through that. So again, we will remind you that you're not. Your daughters, your grandbabies, your bonus sons. We all want you to be a part. You're not a part. Your great grands.
Because
there's much
not
to do.
A bother.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm going to describe all of you now. The word that comes to my brain for all three of you is resilience. Because I feel like you all should write memoirs in your point of view and put them in one book and just let it out. Because to have gone through what you've gone through and to remain where you are, not remain, to have gotten where you are, and it's amazing to see, like, rags to riches almost, you know? It's amazing to see that you guys don't hold hate in your heart, that you guys choose to love, that you guys choose to persevere, you choose to be parents, you choose to love people, you choose to help people, even though you know that helping people had you guys go without. So it's like, it's really cool to see you guys in your elements. It's really cool to see you guys and how you guys have grown since I've known you. It's really cool to see what you offer to everyone around you and how you protect the people around you and how you love on the people around you and the stories you tell. But I would ultimately say resilience. You guys are very resilient. You guys have weathered many storms, for sure. So that's all I have. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk. No, I'm kidding. I'm happy you guys came on today. I feel like we got a lot of things off our chest.
And I feel like there's still a lot more to go.
There's definitely a lot more to go through, but we're going to have another sit down to get to the meat of stuff, for sure. How are you guys feeling?
I feel good. I feel there were some dots that were connected today. So Jayla, thank you for just letting God use you, the gifting in you. And so I'm grateful. I'll be honest, I was like, okay, please don't let us go buck wild in front of everybody. but sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I feel that there was releasing that took place today, healing. And so we have to choose to just keep moving forward. So thank you. It was a blessing to be here, Jessica, and beyond proud of you. in all that you're doing, and grateful for the journey and seeing him working it all together for good. And so beyond proud of you, baby girl. Beyond.
It's your turn. The floor is yours.
Da-da-da-da-da. Hey, I think one of the greatest things that happened in my life as I was older was being Nana to the babies. That I was able to be there to help you with these kids. And the closeness and the love. You're my granddaughter. You're an extraordinary. I mean, you were my princess. You came in my life when you were 5 years old.
Gabby?
You were my 5 years old. You were my princess. You know, I had a granddaughter. Hello.
The granddaughter.
Yeah.
The elite.
The elite.
Oh my God.
And I don't even we won't even go down that road because anyways. But that was a great blessing in my life.
It was a blessing for us,
to just to be able to actually be able to parent that I wasn't able to do for you.
Yes.
And so to have that relationship with the kids was amazing. And it blessed me considerably.
Amen.
Cook some fine meals.
Chicken and noodles, always a win.
And mashed potatoes, baby.
Oh.
Ooh, with rolls. Yeah, we haven't had that in eons.
What are we doing tonight?
Chicken and rice.
You want to tell me? I'll tell you what's thawing out in my refrigerator
Oh,
right now.
hello.
Anyways,
Oh my God.
so yeah, no, it.
Yeah, 4 minutes.
We've gone through a lot. I had gone through a lot as a child and growing into an adult at a time when there are a lot of things changing in this country, and it had an extraordinary impact on me. And I just know that I'm very blessed to be the mother. I would never be a typical mother, but that's who I am.
You mean I'm sorry, I was the elite athlete first because I took my big wheel and took my infant baby brother and put him on the back and was rolling down the street in the project telling everybody, y'all better not come this way because my daddy gonna be to see y'all.
Yes.
I'm scared.
Yes. As you should be.
You have no idea what it's like.
Robert just sitting there.
Did you beat her down for that? Did you give her a whooping? That's because if it would have been me, mine would have had no skin on my body. Right. I'm just saying. But I don't think you did.
You have no idea. Look and see my 6-month-old son on the back of here she comes around the corner, screaming and hollering, and he was smiling. He was happy.
He was.
But
again, she didn't get a whooping. If it would have been me,
oh my God,
she would have had to get skin grafts to this day.
For real. I can show you the scars. But I love you, Mommy.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna take the time, and again, I want to thank both of you. We gonna get the time constraints, all of that. We gonna have to, we gotta, we gonna keep peeling back. But thank you, number one, to both of you for making the sacrifice and being willing to come and have real talk, right? Pickens realities, and again, all for the sake of being able to help other people by being uncomfortably transparent in a way that I'm gonna make it through one of these episodes without crying, y'all. Just one time I'm working on that. But for me, you got to understand, tears are that's how I heal.
Yeah,
it's releasing and healing.
Absolutely.
So thank you for joining us today. Again, thank you to you all. And takeaways, y'all, get with your people.
Yeah.
Have honest, transparent conversations to understand the dynamics between you and your parents, parents, and get to the root of understanding their intent, why they did what they did. Were there things that you didn't know, didn't understand, didn't even know to contemplate? Because one, it can lead to your forgiveness, your healing, and your release.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So move and then assess what's going on with you and your kids. Sit down and have a conversation. As we've talked several times, your perception is your reality. It doesn't mean it's anybody else's. I guarantee you, your kids have a different perception and a different reality. Start the conversations, get the help,
Yeah.
get resources,
Absolutely.
straight up professional counseling. And we've got blended family coaching services. You can hit our website, jessicapickens.com, to find out more. But thank y'all for coming today, and there'll be more to come. They'll be back. Y'all agree to come back?
Yes, ma'am.
They'll be back. Let's make it a great day, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Take care.
Blessings.
Take care. Bye-bye.